Hello everyone, this is Ali and I'm back with my exercise videos. Beautiful weather today, so I thought let's just take advantage of this and shoot this video. The topic for today is use of an indoor rowing machine, and this is my absolute favorite, a game changer of an exercise. And I have had experience working with a number of different exercises using resistance tubes, bands, machines, and I am absolutely stuck on rowing. And I'll go into the details of that as I go along. If you go into any famous chains of gyms out there, you would see dozens of treadmills and other pieces of equipment, and you will hardly see 2 to 3 rowing machines lying there gathering dust. But don't be fooled, this is a powerhouse of an exercise. So it first I get into the muscles used while rowing, and you will realize the extent of a workout that it gives your body, which helps not just in building a good stamina, cardio, as well as building muscle or lean muscle. So if you look at the muscles that are used while rowing, it hits your calves, your quads, your hamstring, your glutes, your abs, your obliques, your lats, your shoulders, your pecs, your biceps, your triceps. So there's hardly a muscle in the body that is not engaged when you are rowing, and I may have missed a few here. So they say it hits more than 80% of the muscles of the body, and which basically means that you, again, it's all about efficiency. It's all about doing more in less time. So you get on a rowing machine, you have a good workout for 20 to 30 minutes, and that is it. So you exercise every muscle of your body in that duration. So another absolutely key benefit of this exercise is that it's a low impact activity. No jarring motions of your joints. You're lying relatively at a lower position. You're in a lower position, sitting down, comfortable. So very little impact on the joints. So it's a fantastic exercise for people who are concerned about doing damage because of jumping, running. And if you compare it with a treadmill, very little jarring motion of the knee joint. So that's a fantastic benefit. Another key aspect of rowing that I want to talk about is the fact that it is, if you compare it with the number of exercises. So let's say with use of an upright bike or a recumbent bike or swimming or elliptical or treadmill. So if you compare all these types of exercises, you would see that if we divide, or we kind of say that the criteria is an exercise is low impact, it hits your upper body, lower body, as well as core. So all these exercises would be not much effective in working the core, whereas rowing keeps your core engaged, and it has a very beneficial effect on the upper body as well as lower body. So the muscle groups I talked about, the biggest muscles of your one of the biggest muscles of your body, your lats, your quads, your hamstrings, those are engaged. So upper body and lower body are engaged. So it's primarily a cardio exercise, and the key force comes from your leg muscle. So when in the next part of this video, I'll talk about the technique, and then you will realize that more than 60% of the force comes from your leg. So that's another largest one of the largest muscle of the body. So that's the reason that it's so good at burning calories. And again, from my personal experience, this is the month of Ramadan, and I am fasting. So usually what ends up in Ramadan, like we as Muslims, we fast for 30 days, and during Ramadan I kind of go a little bit easy in terms of exercising. And what ends up happening, especially in the 4th week or so, that you feel that you have you're not as conditioned, and it takes you a couple of weeks or 3 weeks to kind of get back into your total body conditioning. As far as this Ramadan is concerned, what I have been doing different is, although I'm not keeping the intensity as hard, but I am rowing every second day. So just before breaking my fast, an hour or 30 minutes before a fast, I'll go on a rowing machine and I row for 30 minutes. And I'm noticing that there has been absolutely no loss of muscle, and I feel totally that I'm I can hit the road running once Ramadan is over, as far as my exercise routine is concerned. So these are some of the key benefits of rowing. I do want to talk about the exercise program a little bit. So when you are designing a program, as I mentioned earlier, this series of videos that I'm presenting, one of the key aspects is that you can actually pick and choose. As I stated earlier, the best exercise is the one that you enjoy and that you commit to doing it on a long-term basis. So let's say if you want to design a program just with a couple of exercises, you could do your cardio couple of days on a treadmill or running outside, 20 to 30 minutes, depending on your fitness level. Again, always start slow, build up, ramp up, and once your body is conditioned to take strenuous activity, only then do it. Then, if you make the best investment that you can ever make, buy a rowing machine if you don't have one, and row for 2 to 3 days in a week. So if you're not supposed to kind of row continuously in terms of always take a break. So once you have your cardio session on a treadmill, then the next day you could row. As I said, it's great for building muscle. It'll as long as you incorporate, keep the intensity higher, and you keep the resistance on the rowing machine on the higher side. And I'll go into that in my next section. You have a great workout, hitting most of the muscles of your body. So 20 to 30 minutes of rowing, 4 to 5 days a week if you're exercising, 2 days cardio, 2 to 3 days rowing machine, and you have a comprehensive workout hitting every muscle of your body. So that's what I want to talk about rowing today. Again, thank you very much. I'll go into the technique right after this. Thanks and have a great day. Bye. Hello everyone. So let's just talk about the rowing technique. And also what I'm going to focus on in this video is the if you're looking to buy rowing machines, what's available out there and what you need to look for. And in the end, I'll talk about the if you're setting up a program of cardio and resistance training and you want to use a rowing machine primarily for that. So let's just get going. First thing first, let's talk about the use of the rowing machine. When I got my rowing machine two and a half years back, I didn't have that much experience in rowing, and I was kind of looking at something very basic. Although the machine that I have does what it's supposed to do, and my feeling is that the basic functionality of most of the machines is the same. So it's not that big of a deal. However, if I buy a machine now, I would buy a lot more advanced rowing machine. It's just because I like rowing so much, spend so much time on it, and it will be nice to have more bells and whistles. The one I have has recumbent bike on it, which I hardly use. So it's like not that focused on rowing only. However, it's the primary motion of rowing is pretty similar, so that's not an issue. Some of the popular models out there, one is called Nordic Track, another is Hydrow, HYDROW. In some of the machines there is air resistance, belt resistance, and water resistance. So those few types are there. The very popular one is Concept. And I think in most of the gyms you find Concept rowing machines, and those are commercial grade machines, very sturdy and good machines. So what's really important is actually getting into the habit of rowing and not just thinking too much about the machines. Now when it comes to the pricing, you can get a really good rowing machine between $1,000 to $1,500. And you know, you could spend more, but you can get machines with a lot of bells and whistles. But as I said, it's more important that you get one and you start getting into the habit of exercising. I feel that you could get a basic machine, and then once you are into it, you could get another one, depending on your interest in this. So that's mostly about the machines. And as a matter of fact, a few days back I got a catalog from Costco, and there was a machine available for less than $400, and it looked to be pretty decent rowing machine. So the pricing of rowing machines, you could get one under $500. I got mine for $650, so reasonable price range there. So that's about machines. Now let's just talk about the rowing technique. So I will try to break it down and give you some tips. As far as the rowing is concerned, keep in mind that it's a simple motion. And it's comprised of 3 or 4 key motions. However, the fact that the technique is so important that it does take a little bit of time to get used to it and master the technique. So first thing first, you need to strap your feet. And one of the things that really helps to keep your feet stationary is to try to strap it above laces. And in this way, while rowing, the chances of your feet getting slipped are a lot less. So that's one thing. So I'm going to talk about 3-4 things here now. In terms of rowing, there are 4 phases, you could say. One is called the catch, and now you could see this is the position that is catch when you are starting, and then what comes is the drive. So after catch is the drive, and the third one is a finish. So as you can see, these are all blended together: catch, drive, and finish. Okay, and I'm gonna add the 4th one into it, and the 4th one is the recovery. So drive, recovery, drive, recovery. In between, again, if you want to talk about the 4, it's catch, drive, finish, recovery. Catch, drive, finish, recovery. So these are the 4 things. What really helps when you are rowing is, keep in mind, and that will help your technique a lot, is legs, back or hips, arms. Legs, back or hips, arms. And that is when you, like from the catch position, keep in mind that the legs are the ones that are exerting most of the force. So 60% of the force comes from your leg muscles. A lot of people, they make a mistake of gripping the handles too tightly, and instead of using the bigger muscles of the body, they use their hand muscles, and in this way you cannot last long. Especially if you're rowing for a little bit longer duration, your hands get too stiff and you're not using the right technique. So the force comes from your legs, keep in mind. So when you are in catch positions, your leg muscles will push you back, and that's 60% of the force. So again, leg, back, arms, and you reverse the order: arm, back, legs, when you go back to recovery. So there's catch, drive, finish, recovery. Again, catch, drive, finish, recovery, and legs, back, and arms. So the division or the transfer of force or exertion is legs, back, and then arms. So I would say 60% legs, 30% back and hips, 10% arms. So arms is a lot less. It's you're holding the handle really not firmly. So the motion, the power from arms comes at the end. So these are the key phases or the motions of rowing, and when you do this in rhythm, then all of this blends in or melts in. So it's important that you do it a few times, and then as you use it more, you know how the force from different muscles of the leg transfers to your back or hips and to your arms, and that makes you do it in a lot better way. There are lots of videos out there explaining these techniques, so it does take a little bit of time, but the fact that rowing is such a powerful exercise and it's a total body workout, it's absolutely worth spending some time on the technique and the form, because in any type of exercise, if your form and technique is not correct, there's chances of getting injured and not getting reaping the full benefits of the exercise. So I'm gonna do these again, now I'll do it fast. So this is where I'm in the catch position. I'll go back, recovery. The key force is coming from my legs. Okay, so that's pretty much it about the rowing technique. Now when it comes to designing the program, what you could do is, again, it's your options, but if you want to do just rowing and cardio, you could do cardio for a couple of days, and then 2 or 3 days you could do rowing. And when it comes to rowing, there is a resistance on the machine. I keep the resistance at 1 or 2. I keep it really low because when you're rowing for more than 20 minutes, I do it for 30 minutes. So you need to make sure that you do it for a longer period of time. When there's a lot less resistance, it's more geared towards cardio. How I get the muscle component come into it is in the last 5 minutes, I do intervals, 4 intervals of 30 seconds, high exertion, and then I go at moderate pace. So that's how I incorporate interval training into it. However, if you are doing rowing at a resistance of more than 4, 5, or 6, then it gets a lot more of an exercise which is geared towards strength training, and you will not be, I mean, depends on your fitness level, then you would do it for a lesser duration. If you could build yourself up from a resistance of 2, and if you really, you want to become a lot more athletic and get a lot more benefit in terms of fitness, you could row at higher resistance. I just like to watch TV while rowing, and I don't want to go to the exertion level that it becomes less of an entertainment for me. So I enjoy doing it. I do it at less resistance. I go for a longer period of time. Again, 2 days of cardio, 2 to 3 days of rowing. If you do this, that's a comprehensive program. You hit every muscle of your body. You keep your lean muscles in good condition, and you get a full cardio benefit out of this. Keep in mind that rowers are one of the fittest athletes out there, and especially the use of the leg muscles, your hamstring, your quads, those are one of the strongest muscles in the body. They're a lot more engaged. Another benefit of rowing is that your core is a lot more engaged. When I demonstrated the technique for rowing, throughout the drive and the finish and the recovery, your core is engaged. You tighten your core muscles and keep them engaged, even though you are holding the handles lightly, but you have your core engaged throughout this. So rowing is an excellent exercise for the upper body, for the core, and for the leg muscles, for the lower body. So that's why it's one of the most complete exercises that you can think of. So that's pretty much it in terms of the technique, in terms of buying a rowing machine, and in terms of of a program that you need to design. I highly encourage you to get a rowing machine. This would be one of the best investments. And if you get on a rowing machine and you do it for 20 to 30 minutes, that's a complete workout. You don't need to really go after using different types of weights and resistance tubes and machines and anything like that. This machine has everything in it. Thank you, and really appreciate it. Your feedback will be appreciated, and I look forward to it. Bye-bye. Hi there. When I demonstrated the rowing motion in my video, I need to add something to it, which is really critical when you are rowing. Because I'm doing the talking and doing the motion, so I kind of missed out on this. So one really important aspect is that when you are at catch position and when you come back for recovery, your knees need to be at 90-degree angle. So you don't need to go any further than that. So let me just do it. I'm in the catch position. I go into drive, I finish, and I recover. And I need to come back at 90 degrees. That's because you need that thrust from your legs to give full force from your leg muscles. So I'll do it a little bit faster now. So that's pretty much it. I thought it's important that I explain this point. Thank you, and again, do like this channel and provide your feedback. Bye-bye.